Hello, this is Alexis. Today I'm reviewing The Secret of the Bookkeeper. That's by J.A. Hemingway. Hemingway as in, like the big Hemingway. And this book was really a hard one for me to do. I think there's some good characterization. The main character, Theo, is well written. He's got interest, he's got background, he's got a difficult background despite being well off, and he's not perfect. I always like that. He's not perfect. The main heroine is also well written. I don't think quite as well written, and that's interesting because this author is a woman. I would have expected that to be a little bit more clear. Plot is interesting. I really had to work to read this one, not because it's a hard read, but because, again, one of my favorite bugaboos, things in the story just didn't make sense. I don't think I'll give a spoiler away here, but there was a fire that happened fairly early on in the book, and the reaction of the hero to the fire was good, but the things he did make him look like a superhero. And this is just not that kind of fantasy. If he'd come in with a cape or spiders on his suit or something like that, I would have gone, oh great, hero saved the day. In this case, he did things that he needed a cape for or needed a Spider-Man suit for, and the reason given in the book wasn't sufficient. It was even more frustrating as the book probably could have been written more straightforward and still gotten where it needed to go. There were a number of places like that in the book. It really interfered with my suspending my disbelief at things that were going on, particularly in the first half. The second half of the book, the pacing picked up. I was able to ignore stuff better. Now, I think a lot of what's going on here, there's just a lot of small things that are distracting. The setting for the book is a small British town, and while there were some great descriptions of it, it felt like I was going into a cozy mystery rather than going into a life or death battle. And then there would be action scenes, and I'd be back to the cozy village. And I'm not sure that was an asset in the book. I understand why it was done, but I'm not sure that was an asset. Also, this really drove me crazy. I have never noticed this so strongly in a book by somebody that's actually published. But instead of just saying he said or she said, it had to be he responded, they intoned, she theorized, he did this, he did that. All these adjectives, when all you need to do is just say, he said this, or she said this, and there's a much smoother run. Small thing, but it made me focus on the he said, she said type comments way too much. I would rather have those be invisible, and just saying he said, she said is so much more effective at that. And I think there were some other small things that overall together made it hard to read. I hated the ending. And the author's going to hear that and she's going to chuckle because I'm sure that's what she wanted. And I'm not going to give you a spoiler, just I hated it. This is going to be, so far, the lowest book I've scored since I've started the channel. This is going to be a 2 out of 5 teacups. Now, 2 is still barely on the good level, or it's really the medium level. I don't know that I'm going to read the sequel to this book. I might check it out from the library. I don't know if I want to buy it. If I do check it out, I will read it, I will review it, and hopefully, this is a first-time novel, I should say that, but hopefully the second novel will clear up some of those problems the first-time novelist just hasn't got experience enough to do yet, and that's all right. It's all right to not have the greatest novel on your first novel. And still, I think a lot of people are going to read this and enjoy it and not going to notice the problems. I suspect your 15 to 18-year-old set, around the age of the main characters, is probably going to enjoy it. I think somebody who likes a little bit more romance that's clean in their fantasy might enjoy this. some of the things that I find as faults may actually come from the fantasy genre. I don't read there, but I kept on getting the impression that maybe this was a little bit more normal in those worlds. I don't know. But there's a market for this book, so even though it's a 2, which is low on the scale, there's certainly people that are going to enjoy it, and you shouldn't run away just because I'm a picky reader. That's okay. If you look over here, if you would subscribe, this would help the channel a lot. If you go down there, hit the thumbs up, that would help a lot. I would like to actually pay some bills. Well, buy some more books with the channel eventually. I'll catch y'all later. Manana.